Hello everyone. In this video, I will be talking about how we become stuck in the logical thought process of problem solving when we are traumatized by narcissistic abuse. Intellectualization, or intellectualizing your abusive experience after narcissistic abuse, is quite common. So let's talk about this. What is intellectualizing? Intellectualizing is when you try to understand a problem or an issue or something that you have been through with your logical, analytical mind. And this is a case wherein you are trying to solve your problem by thinking through it. Now, we have to remember that we are sentient beings, we have a consciousness, and we have feelings and emotions. Our feelings and emotions are what set us apart. The way we process them is what sets us apart from the other species on this planet. So, this is a powerful tool that we have. Our emotions and feelings are extremely powerful in being able to help us process the various experiences that we have throughout the day. This is what intellectualizing is. When you try to solve issues purely using your logical and analytical mind, and you do not allow your feelings and your emotions to play any role in them. So first, let's discuss what the narcissistic abuse has done to you, what the narcissist has turned you into. When we are traumatized by a narcissist, there are some things which happen to us. We become disconnected from the understanding we have about ourselves, and we process reality and emotions different to others. We are not, most of the times, connected to our own emotions. So these are the three main things happen when you are traumatized by narcissistic abuse. You become disconnected from yourself, reality, and those around you, and you are no longer connected to your own emotions, and you do not process them like those around you. So when someone like the narcissist constantly gaslights you and keeps telling you what you should be believing about your reality, you can easily lose sight of how to perceive reality. When you are under constant pressure and anxiety, you can never be connected to your wisdom and maintain a balanced state of emotions to make the right choices. You lose all the confidence you have in you. So, when you are full of anxiousness and you can't trust yourself, you begin to do something else. You start to view life from the outside, as if it is a show meant for everyone else to participate, but you become the spectator of this life. You are now standing outside of this show called life. The one thing which will include you in this show is your own emotions, right? But the narcissist has cut you off from your own emotions. So what happens now is that you start to live life through your logical mind. You use your analytical mind to solve all your problems. You are constantly trying to prove your worth. You are constantly trying to be good enough for the narcissist. So all your focus is on what you can achieve and how good enough you can be. All your focus is on tasks that you have to finish. Your well-being, your peace of mind, happiness, joy, basically all your emotions are all out of your own reach. You dismiss them daily and you tell them that they have no place in your life. So when you can't feel good, and the only thing important is to be good enough for the narcissist, the only thing you are using your mind for is survival. You are in survival mode. You're using your intellect and you become stuck over here. You now live in your head. You are a machine that serves the narcissist. So this is who you have become, right? So the lucky few who manage to get out, say the black sheep of the family, now that you found out about the narcissist and their games, you want to understand how you can heal from this. But remember how I talked about how you are now disconnected from your own emotions and how you are feeling, right? So what happens now is that you're looking for ways to heal, but only using your logical mind. Take a scenario where your therapist informs you that you need to do, say, inner child work. This work requires you to feel difficult emotions and also release them and self soothe. You see how emotions are required for all the steps to feel the difficult emotions, to self soothe, and to release them. So, for this, you have to feel discomfort, be able to cry when pain comes up, and then be able to settle yourself down after this experience and create safety for yourself. People who are anxious and have suffered trauma usually know the steps 1 to 10 of inner child healing. But when it comes to actually doing the inner child healing, feeling the emotions, it is either that they cannot get in touch with their emotions or that they cannot self-soothe. This is because the nervous system is not able to regulate itself as required. So, what happens when you get out? Even though you're out of this abusive relationship, you are a person who now lives in his or her own head. So even though you have managed to leave the narcissist, you are still only accessing life in logical steps and trying to solve problems through your analytical mind. This is called intellectualizing. So ask yourself these questions. Do you spend a lot of time reading about narcissistic personality disorder even though you have become fairly familiar with the disorder? Do you still spend a lot of time reading about this? This is an example of intellectualizing, and a lot of people get stuck in this stage where they keep on discussing the narcissist, right? And then, do you spend a lot of time trying to understand the healing process? But you feel exhausted after trying to understand the process because you've only used your mind. You don't actually know how it feels to process. This is another example of intellectualizing. And do you spend a lot of time going over the past in your mind? And the more you think about the past, you're not exactly feeling anything, but you are constantly running through those memories again and again, again and again. You're trying to understand everything over and over again. This is also intellectualizing. So what you need to do instead is stop thinking and analyzing and start feeling, right? One of the other reasons why you avoid feelings is because the emotions you need to feel after abuse are quite strong. So you avoid feeling and you go right into your head because this is easy and safe, right? As compared to feeling your own emotions. So I have lined up some exercises which outlines the process of dropping from your head into your heart. The easiest way to drop from your analytical, logical mind into your feeling heart is to be able to express your trauma. Expressing your trauma is key. How do you do this? The first exercise is you can use a lot of paints and you can use different colors and just paint without an aim. Just use as many colors as you can and just keep painting. And it can be anyhow, it can be anything, it can just be a big scribble. And after you finish painting, after you think you are done using all the colors, ask yourself, how does every color make you feel on the board? What memory or more, what feeling does the color bring up? Now, don't start analyzing and judging and thinking logically about anything, but just pay attention to how you feel when you look at each and every color. What emotion does it bring up for you? This is one exercise, right? When you are reminded of any memories or when the colors bring up different emotions, make sure you write them down because writing is another form of expression. So this is how you complete your emotion processing. So it's bringing up an emotion and you're writing down, okay, this is what it made me feel. I had emotions of joy coming up, or I had emotions of pain coming up. Just write it down, even though it does not have to be something that you solve. Nothing has to be solved over here. You're just expressing. Expression is important. Now, the next exercise is journaling. Set a timer for 5 minutes, and within those 5 minutes, write down in points what are the things that are worrying you, what are the things that are bringing you anxiety, what is causing you pain. In those 5 minutes, whatever comes to you, just write it down. You may not have a solution, you may not know how to deal with it, but just write it down, express it. Give an opportunity to your inner being to express how it is feeling. Just focus on how you are feeling. Then, looking at all the emotions or whatever worries that are coming up, the anxieties that are coming up, you can take the time to write a letter to yourself as to how to keep faith and how to hold on and how to be courageous when it comes to these things, these worries. You will be surprised that when you just sit down and you start writing the things that you are able to offer to yourself, you will be surprised that you are able to offer yourself enormous amounts of support. Now, the third exercise. You can write a letter to your younger self. Imagine that hurt little girl or that hurt little boy who was living in that abusive house or who went through a difficult experience. Just drop into your heart and go back into that time and feel the devastation of that little child, which is feeling helpless and abandoned. Feel the devastation. There's nothing wrong with feeling the devastation. Now, you can either use a therapist for this if you are accessing a particularly painful emotion which is hard for you to handle on your own. But if this is an isolated incident which keeps nudging you throughout the day and it's not all that painful, then you can just sit down and drop into that feeling. And then you will find that the strength of that pain dissipates. It actually reduces as you keep feeling it. And then you can offer yourself a lot of compassion, love, and understanding, and tell and send a message that it's all right and that it is okay. So these are the 3 different exercises that I have come up with, that I have used, and you can also use. Let me know in the comments below if you have used any of them, and if so, and how did you feel at the end of it. And also, when you do the above exercises, please ignore your thoughts and judgments because they will come up. When you feel deep emotions of, pain and shame, there will be a voice in your head which says, oh, come on, don't tell me that you still feel this way, or that, oh my God, this is so lame, or things, emotions, judgments such as those. Please ignore those thoughts and judgments. Just focus on how you feel. How does it make you feel? What is that emotion? How deep is that emotion? Just keep feeling. Keep feeling it in all the layers and shapes and forms it's coming to you. Okay? This brokenness that you experience from these exercises is what gives you access to your inner being, that wound of yours, that trauma of yours. And that is a powerful experience, because it's only when you can access that broken part of you will you be able to find a way to heal. But you first need to access, right? So this is why these exercises are meant to be exercises which help you drop from your head into your heart by feeling. Why is feeling so important? Why is feeling your emotions so important? The narcissist has started something. They gave you an abusive experience. Now you have to finish that, right? Only because you got out of the abusive environment does not mean that the abuse is now over. It still lives inside of your body. and your mind and your psyche, your soul, right? So how do you complete this abusive experience? Going no contact is just stage one. It's only step one. So the only way to complete this abusive experience is to use your emotions. That's how. So the longer you'll be trying to understand what happened, the more stuck you will feel, right? So let me give you an example. When you fall down and you hurt yourself, you feel physical pain. And if the pain was to a degree that you could not bear it, what happens? You pass out, you faint. That's what happens. This happens frequently with physical hurt and pain. This is how you cope with the pain. This is how the body helps you cope with the pain, by knocking you off for some time because the pain is simply too much to bear. So what happens when the same pain is emotional and not physical? We do not faint, right? What we do is we disconnect. We disconnect from our own emotions. And that's what being with the narcissist has done. It has disconnected you from you. So the only way to connect with yourself again is to feel your pain using different techniques, is to feel your emotions on the daily. If you have a therapist who can guide you through this, it'll be incredibly helpful. And that practice is quite frankly advisable, because some traumatic experiences are too painful for you to process on your own, and I wouldn't advise you doing it all by yourself. All right, so when you sit down with an emotion or memory and you feel all the emotions that it brings up for you. You keep feeling it till the strength of that emotion becomes weaker and weaker, right? So what is happening over here is you're processing it. And this is how you start feeling more and thinking less. Thinking about the narcissist, thinking about the things that they did to you, discussing the narcissist, thinking about, like logically analyzing anything is going to keep you stuck. The reason I'm repeating this time and again is because our nervous system, due to the abuse, has gone into, one of the modes, either fight, flight, or fawn, right? So to bring us out of that, the baby steps that we need to take is to start feeling. So you can be stuck years on end in this place, right? Dysregulation, nervous system dysregulation is a thing. It is real. So the easiest way to start feeling is to keep checking in. Instead of analyzing your day, oh, this is what happened and that's what I should have done. No. Don't think of it that way. Don't think of it that way. Think about how a certain incident made you feel. And ask yourself, what is this feeling? Why am I feeling it? Okay, so you pay more attention and focus on your emotions. Don't think about right and wrong. Just think about how you're feeling. Pay attention to that, right? So this is how you get in touch with yourself, and you will learn to trust yourself more and more the more you feel than think. Thinking is important. You will do that regardless. It'll come to you effortlessly. But feeling, on the other hand, especially after abuse, requires practice, right? Make you feel more like yourself with each passing day. Feeling is very important because it helps you complete an incomplete experience. Abuse is an incomplete experience. If you're not able to function properly after the abuse, in order to complete this traumatic experience, you have to drop from your head into your heart. I hope you have enjoyed this talk. I was just having a crack at bringing to your attention. I wanted to bring to your attention something very important. This is important because intellectualizing, or the intellectualization of your abusive experience, is a stage that everyone faces. It is some place where many people get stuck. It happened to me. I was stuck in this phase for about 7 to 8 months before my therapist gave me the term intellectualizing, and she spoke to me about how Dropping from your head into your heart is extremely important for you to be able to process your trauma. And that is how you begin your healing journey. I hope I have been able to send you some meaningful message through this talk, and that you have been able to draw some important information, or at least some comfort or consolation from what I have said today. Thank you so much for listening to me.